Hey YouTube, Pilot Wannabe here, and today we're on the ground in Ottawa's International Airport, and we are going to Toronto Island. We haven't done that flight in a while, and I think it's about time we try to see if we can pull it off without any hiccups or anything like that. So the flight and the route is well known to me, so shouldn't be nothing but a thing but the flight planning. So let's jump in the flight deck. And nose wheel steering is off. We've gotten rid of the yoke. I can accept the database is up to date. Okay. And I guess also we can go data, get some ground services on, and request GPU. And to do that, batteries are on, generators on, main bus tie is tied, external power is on, and we just need to wait for it to come on and light up the intake doors. So let's continue with our check. And okay, there we go. We have GPU on bus. Alright, so we've got all our heats off, landing lights off. Altimeters in feet, flight recorder is in normal, and the electronic emergency locator transmitter is in armed position. Okay, and we have our position lights on, emergency lights are armed. We can open the doors and put our passenger signs on. Recirculation fans on, and bleeds are off. Okay, so let's put our parking brake on, and we have enough pressure for that. Okay, so we got a little welcome music. Alright, so next thing we need to do is check our trims. 1, 2, this is neutral. This one needs at least 8 units of right to counteract the torque. Okay, we're at power levers are at disconnect, and condition levers are at fuel cutoff. And flaps are up. Okay. So, let us get started then. Let's go to fuel. I haven't added my my flight package, so to speak. So let's do that now. I've just clicked the button on the control panel, and it's uploaded the fuel and passengers. So now I need to unpause the sim. Okay. So fuel. Onboard fuel is $13.65 a side. Okay. And we'll just go straight to the zero fuel weight. I have 23,187. And I also have a basic weight of the aircraft of 17,523. So I'll have to do that one over again. 17,523 and zero fuel mass of 23,187. Okay, and we get a total of gross weight of 25,917. And that is off by 1 kilo. So I think we've done fine that way. Alright, so today we're going from Charlie Yankee Oscar, that's not Oscar, Oscar Whiskey, and we are going to Charlie Yankee Tango Zulu. And the ambient noise seems a bit high, so bring it down to the level that I recall. Alright, so the winds are favoring what appears to be They're 210 at 16, so that seems to be favoring runway 25. So menu, depart, runway 25 is option 5, and it's just the one SID, the Ottawa 3 departure, which is basically runway heading, climb to 5,000 feet, expect vectors. So that's the way it's going to be. Alright, and so menu and arrive in Toronto. And let's see what we can expect for the weather in Toronto. CYYTZ. And it is a temperature, well, the wind is 210 at 16, which would seem to suggest runway 26. So let's do runway 26. This is option 5. 5. Okay, Elixir 6, familiar with that arrival. And we are going to pick it up from Lorca. And then we are going to do an ILS 26 because we can. Okay. So let's just see where this takes us. Okay, 2 no links, and then to Lorca. Alright, so let's take one of these out of here. I'm going to fly it manual towards Lorca, and then we'll engage it. And a no link here before we hit final, which is more than reasonable. Okay, so we're ready to go that way. Alright, let's hit the go around button and finish setting up the aircraft. Okay, the pressure outside is 2968. 2968. There we have the pressure set. And the heading, runway heading, will be 251, I believe. 251. And 5,000 feet. And await vectors. Okay. Also, we're going to turn off decision height. And we're going to put our thrust reduction altitude in using this. Descent. So we're going to go field elevation plus 1,000. Field elevation is about 340. So we're going to 1340. Okay. And we're going to run our script for our V-speeds. And we are taking off with flaps 5 today. Option 1. So we have V1 and VR of 124, V2 of 127, flaps coming up at 137, and single engine climb out at 148. Okay, so we have heading, go around, and alt select selected, which is proper. And let's check here. Batteries are charging and the volts are in the good range, and so is the temperature. Okay, so everything's good here. So let's accept the database, cross-fill our fuel and our flight plan. We can go back to nav function here. Okay, so that should be on FMS 2, but it's on 1. There, FMS 2, wrong set of pink needles. And proper set of pink needles there. So we're all set. Get the trim, second trim, third trim. Okay, PFD, ED, and MFD are all set and ready to go. So let us start our APU and run through those checks again. Okay, batteries are on, gen's on, main bus tie is on, external power is turned on. Okay, let's go to warm up that windshield for now. We're landing in Toronto. And Toronto's 250, so elevation should be 250 plus 500, which is 749, so we'll leave it there. And what do we have here? Hurry up and sit down signs. Okay, so we'll turn off the external power, let the generator take over, and we can say goodbye to the power cart. And we should see the APU taking on the load here, and we do. Okay, so we are all good to go. So we're going to push the nose back and tail to the left. Okay. So we've started the initiation for the pushback. Oh, we forgot to put on our red light. There we go. Now everybody should know what our intentions are. Okay, remove the parking brake. Alright, so let's press the button and introduce fuel, starting to wind up. Alright, so let's keep an eye on the engine here. And it is spooling up. Temperatures and pressures are coming up. It's almost ready to click off. Alright, we're going to start swinging it around to the nose to the right. Alright. And we'll get ready to click on end that. Alright, not a bad deal. Set the parking brake, okay.
Parking brake set. Didn't get nervous at number 1.
Oh, look at that. We made such a boner mistake. Alright, look at this, what we did. The door's open. What? That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, let's leave that there. Let's leave that there. Shift E. Let's close that door. Okay, now that we have the doors closed, let's start number 1. Let's go max prop on number 2. Alright, number 1 is coming up. Temperature's in the green. Pressure is rising. ITT is coming up. And the prop is coming up, and she looks pretty stable. And because she is, let's go to 1020 on the props. Okay. And now that we've done that, we can take off the GPU and untie it. Bring the window heat up. And taxi light on. Standby pitot heat 1 and 2 can come on. And bleeds 1 and 2 can come on. Recirc fan is on. Packs are in auto. Okay. And nose wheel steering left to come on. There we go. Alright. Also, we're going to need flaps 5. So 5 is set. 5 is indicated. Probably going to need weather at some point. So let's go to nav and put that in weather. Bleed should be at minimum. And they are for takeoff. Alright. So here, it appears the winds are 210 at 16, so we're going to leave on runway 25. I was looking at the wrong airport. Still going to be runway 25. Winds are 220 at 12. Okay. So that shouldn't be too big a problem. Alright. I believe we have everything squared away and set to go. Some of the things we have in check, like our boot pressure is good. We have lots of oxygen left. Okay. Let's bring on the anti-feather. Fuel pumps 1 and 2. Standby hydraulics and PTU. Let's check standby number 3. And its pressure has come up. Let's give it a little workout by exercising the elevators. Turn it off and the pressure falls. That's good. Okay, so full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, and rudder. Full left, full right, neutral. So we're good on the flight controls. Okay, and we have heading select, go around, and alt selected, which gives us a 10-degree pitch up on the autopilot. So we'll also put on the yaw dampener and hope that our ground bug thing is issue of the pass. So release the parking brake. We're going backwards ever so gently. So we'll put in some positive pitch, and we're moving forward. Let's test for takeoff. And no warning, so we are good. Alright, and let's test the brake. And the brakes are good. Okay, so off to runway 25 we go. Okay, so let's just put our logo light on, because why not? Alright, speed is starting to get up. So we're going to come down to the end here. Forget the name of the taxiway. It's probably Bravo. And we're going to go all the way down to Bravo, and it's going to take us to runway 25. Okay, using a little beta, no need for manual brakes. And we slow down for that corner, nice. Then we accelerate into it again. Alright, so at the end of this taxiway will be runway 25. taxiing at 32 knots. A little hard to control. Or pull back to power. It should start to slow us down. So we're flying in real time with the real weather. I guess that's Zulu time. Because the local time is 11:40. So we're 5 hours behind. Okay, yeah, we're on Eastern Standard Time here. Okay, stay on the taxiway. Alright. See if we get it to pull up real nice in front of this line. Alright, so managed to pull up nice. And taxi lights can come off. Landing lights can go on. And anti-collision lights can go to white. Seatbelt sign is on. Landing altitude is good. Everything looks fine. Flaps 5. We are in trim. And everything looks golden. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Well, when we come around, I'm sure it'll be fine. And we are looking for Lorca, which is to the south and the west, I believe. Alright, so nobody coming, nothing left, nothing on the right, and nothing on TCAS, although it is off. Let us put a code in. Zero 0316, just for the heck of it. Okay, so 316, we're in standby, and now we are in alt mode. Okay, so the temperature is 12, which is really close to plus 10 C, and visible moisture is present. I don't think icing will be an issue, but we stand ready to get on it should that be the case. Alright, so parking brake off, and there we go, going forward. Alright, so Toronto, here we come. Still nobody coming on approach, which is good. And we are starting to go a little too fast. And we've missed our nice, easy run-up. Line-up, which should have been an easy line-up. Okay. Alright, so parking brake off, control lock off, flaps 5, trims are set, and power 90%. We are ready to go. Alright, so let's take it up halfway, let the engine stabilize. And they have. And let's go to takeoff power. And we're there. We're at takeoff power, everything's holding steady. 100 knots. V1. V2. It's positive rate. Gear up. Let's get it to 15 degrees. And hold it there. Okay, we're holding it to 15 degrees, and we're coming up on our thrust reduction altitude. Alright, so back to 900 RPM. And at the same time, bleeds can go to minimum. And at the same time, if we bring our nose down to 10 degrees, we will speed up. And then we are flap retraction and initiation speed, so flaps are up, but they're not indicating. Okay. So flaps up. Okay, we're at 900 on the props. Okay. A little. Okay. So let's see. We've been climbing. Our speed's been rising. Not quite up to 5,000. We've been told we've been cleared for direct LETAC. So direct to, oh sorry, LORTA. So 5, enter. Alright. Why are we turning left? That was me. I'm still flying the plane here. Okay, so I'm going to turn this in manually. And still going to let our nose come up to 10 degrees. Okay, try to trim it as such. Okay, well, looks good. And then we will go nav and autopilot and square up our heading bug. Okay, and we've busted through our 5,000, so it's time to get that up to 27,000. Okay, so let's get that up to, we're flying west, and west is even, so 24,000 feet it is. Alright, so now we're in a good place. And my feet are off the rudder pedals. And we are climbing relatively coordinated. Speed is good. Everything's good. After takeoff checklist, take off the auto feather, the auxiliary fuel pumps, standby hydraulics, and PTU. Okay. And there's 10,000 feet, so lights off. Yep, so we busted our altitude for 5,000 feet. Should have been more on top of that. Alright. So there's our speed. Let's go IAS speed and let's try to hold it at 180. That should give us a nice climb. Okay, so there's the countryside. It's supposed to be, oh, we've got ice now. So that's how we deal with ice. And these demisters should be on, possibly. Hasn't been an issue yet. Let's see what the weather machine can bring us. Alright, everything is still golden here. Let's go outside, take a look at the aircraft. Everything looks good in the climb. She looks like a determined aircraft to get to where she wants to go to. Okay, looking good. And the frames are looking mighty fine too. I'm liking that. So that's 18,000 feet standard pressure, which is 29092. Okay, let's get the pressure in Toronto. Charlie Yankee Tango Zulu, and it is 2968. So we'll have it when we need it. See if we can see any ice buildup outside the aircraft. Nothing there. Nothing there. Well, I guess those were our views for outside. See how the temperature is. Minus 25. Don't see so much on the visible moisture end. Still. Okay, so we're coming up on our cruise altitude of 24,000 feet. That's 1,700 feet a minute. I imagine that will back off somewhat. In IS mode, it's trying to keep us at 180 knots, which means it has to continuously lower the nose in increasingly thinner air to keep up our airspeed. So that's what we wanted to do. Nice smooth flight. Okay. So since I've put the prepared V3 in with no Toronto scenery, I am curious to what it's going to look like stock default with just FTX Vector. It's about the only thing I have going on there. So we shall find out in less than an hour. It's usually like a 58-minute flight, and we're 10 minutes into the flight now. So perhaps 40 minutes we should have an eyeball as to what it's going to look like. Alright, let's take this moment to look at our flight plan. And we're going to step through it. What are we looking at here? Alright, so runway 26 is about like that. And our flight plan should take us out, and then we should catch it with a little hook coming back if we haven't picked it up already. And missed approach is out to there. Alright, so let us get the chart for that. Okay, so oh, that's the wrong chart. Do you believe it? I don't have it. It's been so long. CYTZ. I don't have it. But I've flown this route enough, and I think I know where I need to be. So here's our headings here. And we'll be picking up the ILS at 2,500 feet with an inbound course at 265 at 2350, 2360. So I think we'll be fine. Alright, so we are at the top of the approach. Alright, and our ice warnings have gone away. Okay. So now we're at cruise level. Let's go to cruise speed. Let's pull the props back to 800, 850. We should have more than enough fuel. If we check our fuel prediction page, overhead Toronto, we should still have an endurance of 1 hour and 8 minutes with 1,249 kilos of fuel remaining, which is a lot. So the key point is, when we're expected to be on the ground, we should have more than 45 minutes of fuel in the tank. Okay. So everything is looking good. Let's do a little vertical navigation planning. And after Lorca, let's go do sub 3. And UGPAC down to 14,000 looks good. 1,800 feet per minute, that looks good. And if we were to go into VTO, we would have all the different vertical waypoints. 14,000, 7,000, 5,000, 5,000, 2,500, and then the last few. So, as it is now, in 87 knots or 19 minutes, we will have our top of descent. Let's see if we can bring it up here. There it is. We're descending to Toronto Island. Okay. So we're enjoying the view out of the aircraft. Let's put some data on that picture. So the ART VOR, Syria VOR, that's on the American side. So this must be the northern shore of Lake Ontario. One can only imagine. Yeah, so Elixir is 62 miles out there. So straight ahead, 62 miles, and then it'll be a right turn following the northern shore of Lake Ontario, for the most part. So we are at cruise speed on the props. We're at cruise altitude, 24,000 feet, and we are doing 246 indicated into a 75 knot headwind, giving us a ground speed of 278. So this flight might actually be 5 minutes, 10 minutes longer than it would otherwise be. Okay, Something's a little lacking in the scenery, and I think it's on the landscape part of the scenery. Clouds seem alright. Clouds are giving off shadows. It's even more alright. And the ones that are close to us look fluffier than usual. I like that. Everything's fine. Fine, fine, fine. Except we're coming up on our barber pole. So our indicated speed is getting a little high. And we should back the power off ever so gently. So from 68. Let's get some movement on it. Yeah. It's just pulling a little bit off of that power. And it seems to have arrested the increase in speed, which is pretty much what we wanted to do. So we have our fuel flow, 1120 kilos aside. That's good. Everything's into green. I think we'll be landing with flaps 15. And my little co-pilot just joined me. Want an update? We're flying from Ottawa to Toronto Island, so we should be getting some nice scenery when we come into Toronto. Toronto Island. The island is downtown, and there's a runway on it. There's 3. So we should be landing right in front of the CN Tower and stuff. Should be good vision. Okay, and we should be landing in not so long. See the map here? See the map on the navigation? We're here, and we're going to go here, and then where that bubble is, we're going to start going down, and then boom, 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 boom for a landing. And if we miss our landing, we take off, turn right, and go wait out here until we can get some more instructions. So that is our plan, and everything is cool so far.
It looks like Minecraft one's bigger.
Yeah. The only thing we have left to do is we have to wait 13 minutes till we get to that bubble, and then it'll be time to start descending. Yes. And what do you think about the scenery? Does it look too winter-like? Because we don't have snow outside right now. Kind of reminds me of what it's going to be like in January and February. But in March, it's going to start melting. Pardon? Oh, yeah? Cool.
But of course I can choose the boys, but I don't like it.
Right. Let's see. What else we got here?
Yeah, to go forward, not backwards.
I guess it doesn't run so good on carpet. But for a free toy and a candy, it's not bad.
You can always tell by the noise that it makes.
Yeah. Oh, look at the low clouds rolling in. Is that pretty cool?
2-3 layers of clouds.
Actually, I have it up to 6. Could give us 6 different layers of clouds. If they're there. If they're there. But it's so cool. Look at these. These high thin clouds are bonking into us.
I just did a wheelie.
Hey, come look over here. These clouds are reflecting off the lake like a mirror.
Rain clouds.
Yeah, look at that. You can see them bouncing off the lake over there. And over here, the sun is putting extra reflection on the water. So it looks...
Go back, like, to the water. water there, it looks like as if it was kind of like glitching or something.
Yeah, it does sort of look a little glitchy, but you know, in real life, these windows are curved, and when glass is curved, it puts a little distortion on the light.
I don't like that. It makes my eyes so weird. I'm like, oh, why?
Yes. Well, they don't want the pilot's vision to be weird, so they work really hard at curving it just right.
Yeah.
But still, you want to curve just right in front of the pilot where he's looking most of the time. So you can see here that there's Lake Ontario, and here's the shore. So after a while, we're going to be following the shore right until it takes us to
So mom's house is up there.
Toronto. I think we passed where your mom's house is going to be.
Oh, Cinderella.
So if we look behind us, we might see something familiar. Oh, gotta try looking the other way. Well, that looks like the highway, the 401 highway. And there's different towns along the way. That looks like it might be Kingston over there. And actually, that does look like the Kingston airport. It has a runway in the right position.
Oh wow, we were way past.
So that's Kingston.
Mom's house was way
So
past.
around here somewhere is another airport
Mom's house was
for the
way
Canadian
past.
Army. It's in Trenton. Let me look at the
Oh,
map.
Mom used to live in Trenton because of Grandpa.
CYTR. Let me see if I can make that better.
So when the tires are rough.
CYCG. See, that's Kingston. So it's behind us and to our left a little bit, covered by that cloud now. And why can't I see CYTR? I just can't see it. Anyway, it's over here somewhere. And that's where CYTR. So we're going to fly over it pretty soon. Maybe that's it right there. Trenton with the Army runway. It's got a military runway. It's nice and long. It's like 10,000 feet. But you can't see it because clouds are probably covering it up.
You should try trying to land there sometime.
And Trenton?
Yeah, like on that.
Well, I got other places I want to go. I want to go to crazy places with mountains all around.
I know, but I'm talking about like a dozen different
Yeah. Well, I don't have any nice airport scenery for Trenton. It's not really that famous.
So like, to just land in there.
Yeah, but I don't think that'd be that exciting. But could be. Maybe I could get Airbus with the Canadian Army logo paint job. Like, have you seen the Prime Minister's plane? They call it Can Force One, and it's got a. Yes, well, Can Force One is a very pretty plane. Let me see if I can find it for you, okay? Okay, Can Force One. Let us see it. Can Force One. Let's go images. Okay. It's not a very good picture. But you see this one right here? That's the Canada's Prime Minister's plane.
No one else is allowed but him on.
Yeah, that's an Air Force plane. It's an A310, I believe. And it's got a fancier paint job because it's for VIPs. Very important people.
Yeah.
This used to be the paint job for old Air Force planes for VIPs. You know, see the blue circle with the red maple leaf in it? That's a symbol for the Royal Canadian Air Force. And after a long time, they finally got it back with a nice blue paint job. I think it's pretty nice. And then this is the American president's plane. It's much bigger. It's a 747, and he has two of them.
I've seen the inside a little because like a lot of the TV shows that Mom
Was it in a movie or was it in a documentary?
TV show.
TV show? Well, that was fake then. Because they do lots of things
But
about.
they don't show all of it because it's actually
And secret.
Yeah.
You don't want bad guys to know all the cool stuff that the plane can do. Wow, look at how pretty the water is. It's like glass. Nice reflection. And then there's northern shore of Lake Ontario. And we're about to turn pretty soon and follow the shore right to the island. In about 8 miles we're going to turn. And in 5 minutes it'll be start to get ready for the landing. So let's do that right now, okay? So in Toronto where we're going to land, the pressure is 29.68. And we have 29.68. We are ready. And it's going to be a little bit windy. And the wind is going to be coming from 210. So it's going to be coming from right here at 16 knots. So if we're landing this way and the wind is going to be coming sideways a little bit. But it shouldn't be a big deal. Okay, and the temperature is 10 degrees. That's a warm day. Pardon? Okay, first of all, turn on TV. It's that one. Okay, that puts on the main system. Oh, I'm sorry, that's to turn it off. The big button to turn it on is on the outside. Then this one here is for the TV. And then you can just push this one. And that brings up the Bell 5. Okay, but you want Xbox, right? So let me switch it over for you.
5. No, 4.
Yes.
Also not that.
But also, then there's this thing, right? It's got to be on, and it's going to be on number 2. Now you can get it. Okay, so we made our big turn.
Oh,
We're going to be heading down the lakeshore.
there's someone somebody Minecraft. Those are achievements. I got achievements.
Alright, so we need to get down in altitude at some point to 2,500 feet. Okay. So let's widen this down to 2,500. And we're going to lock it in there. Then in mere moments, it will be time. 3 minutes, it'll be time to activate the descent. Okay. Top of descent alert. Okay, let's arm the VNav. And we will be on our way down. And the only important thing for us to do is to manage our speed on the way down. Alright, so we are getting ready to go down. We should put the passenger signs on, tell them to sit down. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Tell them to sit down. Now when that pink line comes down, okay, well you're not watching, you're doing something else. But it's gonna start to fall any minute, and when it does I have to get ready. Approaching top of the descent. So I've got it cleared all the way down to 2500. It should hit 1400. It should hit 7000. It should hit 5000 all on its own, with me only worrying about our speed to keep us on profile. That's the way it should work. Let's see if that happens. Less than 1 minute. Okay, so we have to lose 10,000 feet, and we're going to do it in 26 miles. Okay. There it goes. Roll off the power. All right. See if we can see Toronto yet. Nope. Alright, so everything is looking good. Okay. Everything is working really good. If anything, the lake is too pretty. Don't you think? Yeah. Okay, pressure 2968. We're coming up on it. Alright. So let's see about getting our V speeds. Flaps 15 will give us 122. I like that. So to enter, we have slap speeds of 122. And it's 252, so 1,052 should be okay. Sorry, 1,000, so it should be 1,250. There we go. Oh, we have to take out some trim. And we need to take out some more trim. And maybe one more. Maybe another one still. There we go. Okay, so we hit that at 14,000 feet, and now we're continuing on to 7,000 feet at the next target. And our speed is fine, everything is good. So maybe we're going a little too fast right now. So let's pull some speed out. Because what's the speed limit at 10,000 feet? There's a speed limit at 10,000 feet for airplanes. 250. If you're under 10,000 feet, you can't go faster than 250 miles an hour. Okay? And I'm at 12,000 feet and I'm going 263. So I gotta slow down at least 13 miles an hour in 2,000 feet, which is not a big problem. So I'm doing a good job paying attention and staying ahead of my aircraft, which is not always easy to do with this airplane. Okay, so menu, flight plan, menu, second page, approach plan. Frequency 110.15 and final course 265. Okay, so let's check that. Format. And let's get the course in there of 265. There we go. Alright, so let's see what we got here. 110 point something. It's not on there yet. Okay, we're coming up on 10,000 feet. Lights on for safety. We're starting to slow down a little bit, so let's put some power back. Alright, we're still doing good. We're going to put back a little bit more power. See how it looks outside. Okay. It's very exciting. Alright, there's Toronto and stuff. But can't see any tall buildings just yet. I guess we're still pretty far away. Let's see, how far away are we? We're about 35 miles away. Okay. Alright, let's get that speed down now. We're going to beat UGPAC at 7,000. That's great. Ice detected. Alright. Even though we have our V speeds in, we're going to have to add 20 if ice is still in the play. So it'd be a VAP of 141. Okay, so Murrum now at 5,000. Okay. I think I should start making plans to slow down. Alright, 5,000 at Murrum. Then we're going to descend. In which case we're going to start to pick up speed. So we have to be prepared to bring it back. Look at the tall buildings for Toronto. They're starting to appear. And we're going to be landing right there on the island. Pretty cool, huh? Still ice detected. Come on. Uh-oh, I'm starting to slow down too much. I gotta put in some power. And I'm gonna have to drop flaps. Flaps 5. And put on auxiliary fuel pumps. Standby hydraulic and PTU. Gonna need that. And we're gonna land easy today. So bleeds on minimum. And we're going to go reduce noise profile and put the props forward. Okay, so now how's our speed? 192. It's looking good. Alright, so let me get our heading bug squared up here. Okay. And we'll go into heading mode. Nav source. Okay. And then heading mode. And lock the localizer. And now we're going too fast again. Okay, we're supposed to be 1,000 feet. Okay, ice is not detected anymore. Turn that off. Alright, so I'm going to arm the approach. Okay. That's going to be a struggle. It doesn't want to get too close to the city, but it wants to come in close to land in on that runway. Okay. So we just need to be cool and let the airplane fly for now. But our speed is slowing down, which is good. Now when it slows down the rest of the way, put out the rest of the flaps and the gear and the rest of the flaps. Okay. Now it's important not let our speed fall too low. And the wind is working perfectly with us. Yep. Well, actually, I'm on final approach now, so I have to have my head in the game, as they say. Okay, so we're leveling off at 2,500 feet. We're going to need more power to keep our speed up until we intercept a glide slope. Okay, so we're locked on the localizer. Glide slope is armed in white. We're level at 2,500 feet. We're above the approach and accelerating somewhat. So let's back that power off a little bit. And we're going to start descending. And we're already at flaps 15. That's our final flaps for today. And there we go. We're coming down. So I think it'll want to roll off to about 10% torque, no more than that. Otherwise, plane tends to fall out of the sky. Alright, so we are on the path, feet alive on the pedals. And our speed is creeping up. We need a little bit more speed to stay above the approach. And then, alright, we're 2,000 feet above the ground. It's going to need a little bit to stabilize. So Alex, what do you think of the view? All the buildings of the city and everything. It's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Alright. So we are stable. Gear down. 3 green. Are we flying coordinated? Yes, we are. Power is end top 90%, bleeds at minimum. We've got lights on. Flaps at 15. We are looking good, man. Alright, so it's time to take out the autopilot. And it's my aircraft, as they say. Now I have to remember, this is not the world's longest runway. I have to get her down.
1,000.
And now we're too high and too fast. So now it's time for some adjustments. Alright. Yeah, I know. Alright. Are you going to do it for me? Too fast, too fast, too fast, too fast.
100. 50. 40. 30.
What? That's not supposed to be there? It says I crashed into the rocks. Yeah, just before landing. They're not supposed to be there. Oh my god. But if I leave it alone, it's going to set us up to do it again. I'm just going to have to come in at a steeper angle. That's crazy. Alright, so here we go. Gotta make sure everything's cool again. Okay. Gotta pitch. And let's see. Our speed is okay, I think. We're getting too low, too quick. Okay. Pitch for speed, power for altitude. We need more altitude. Alright. So everything looks good. Okay, speed's looking good. Here we go. So I did it. Pretty decent landing. The airport's screwed up a little bit though. There's a big, high, invisible mountain at the end of the runway. It's not supposed to be there. Okay. Alright. So it's time to visit that runway. That landing. What do you think of my landing so far? I bounced it one bounce. Wasn't so bad, but it wasn't perfect. What do you think? You'll do better, Daddy. Something like that? Alright, so now I guess it's time for me to put the airplane back away. Clean up the aircraft. And should clean up a bunch of stuff. And the bus tie is on, so we can start the APU. And taxi lights off. Landing lights on, taxi lights off. And we're good to go. No, I just finished landing. Now I gotta go park. So I try to do everything the way a repilot does. The plan before the taking off, and the landing. Everything except the radio communications. Because that's a special day when I get on VATSIM and I get to talk to the other pilots and the air traffic control and they give me instructions. That makes it feel really real. Look at that. See the CN Tower, you can see the Sky Dome and a bunch of other buildings. That looks pretty realistic. Pardon? Yeah. So now I have to come back and park it with the other planes. This is a nice little trip. It went well. The only thing was, my landing had a little bounce in it. Yeah, it's the timing of the flare. Regardless if it's the A bus or the Dash 8, seem to have troubles with that. Well, with the Dash you don't actually flare. You fly it to the ground and then power off. Okay. Still takes some getting used to, even with these bigger planes. Got a pitch for speed, power for altitude. That's hard to do because it's hard to tell. Where should I park this big plane? Right over there. I think that's where they normally get parked. Let's increase the speed a little bit. Okay, so this looks like a good spot to park. See if I do a good job. Keep it right on the line almost. Oh, I hope that was a good parking job. See what I mean? The airport's higher than it's supposed to be.
That doesn't look right.
Yeah, that doesn't look right. And that's why I crashed, because that's not right. The first time. That wasn't supposed to happen. Oh, look at my parking job. I almost put it right on the T. Perfectly. Okay, so now that we're here, we can go engines to fuel cutoff, nose wheel steering off, weather radar off, and main bus tie is tied. Okay, and the bleeds can come off. And passenger signs can come off. Oh, they were off. Go figure. Okay. And I think the engines can come off now. Is it working? It is working. The engines are coming off. Alright, so I could put this off, anti-skid off, passenger signs off, emergency signs, can turn those off. Anti-collision can go off. Logo signs can come off. Now we need to put the GPU on. And let's open the door. Okay, so welcome to Toronto. Pretty good parking, except for that crash at the end. That shouldn't have happened. But Toronto looks pretty good considering I'm not using any special scenery. I like that. No special scenery and it looks good. Did I do a good job? Yeah? Alright. Well, Pilot Wannabe would like to say thanks for joining us on this Ottawa to Toronto Island flight, and thanks for watching. Anything you want to say?
Keep calm and fly on.
Keep calm and fly on? I like that. You remembered your little saying. I still like it. I like it a lot. Keep calm and fly on. Words every pilot should know and understand. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. Bye for now.